Welcome to Climbing the Mountain, a video podcast featuring WVU football players and coaches during Spring Practice 2022. Presented by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance. Here are your hosts, Amanda Mazey and Dale Wolfley.
This Climbing the Mountain video podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. Welcome to Climbing the Mountain, a video podcast all about WVU Spring Football Practice 2022. I'm Amanda Mazey with Dale Wolfley. And Wolf, this week we are talking defense.
Yes, we are. We're talking about speed. We're talking about attacking. Even a little bit of smack talking is going on this week. And it's a lot of fun. These guys are fun, and you can see that they're enjoying what they're doing.
This was a really fun group. And at the end, there might be a little surprise of some rapping. It's a first here in the studio.
Well, definitely not by me, but we do have some talent.
Off camera, we do that, right?
Exactly.
We haven't displayed that yet. So, yes, this is Climbing the Mountain, episode 3 of 6 episodes, and we are very excited to bring this to you from Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance, and we would like to thank Austin Michaels, our video editor, again this week, and Sarah Giles, who is our audio engineer, and we have a great show in store for you. And don't forget, you can find Country Roads Trust on all the social medias. Follow us, like us, whatever, and you can follow along with us. So with that being said, we will be right back and get to Defensive Coordinator Jordan Lesley. This Climbing the Mountain video podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. Welcome back to Climbing the Mountain, presented to you by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance. And Wolf, we have Jordan Lesley, defensive coordinator, in the studio with us. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, let's start right off the bat. You've had some untimely departures as of late. Don't want to talk about the past. Want to talk about moving forward. So how do you kind of piece together a puzzle with pieces missing that maybe you were expecting to have in spring ball and in the fall?
Well, I think you just go back to the success of this system of defense, which we've had for a long time. We're really, with the exception of both our year one at Troy and our year one at West Virginia, where we knew we didn't have pieces in place. And so and each year after those first years, the system has been really successful. So and those systems in place for a reason. The pieces are always going to change. You know, in the current environment that we're in, they change before you want them to. Sometimes, but and listen, that's part of life now. So it's adjust to it, move on. Find new pieces. And I've said this since we've started spring ball 6 practices ago. I love the pieces that are in place, and quite honestly, none of the pieces that we've lost are in any of those conversations. So to me, it's just about, hey, you always look forward, and if you don't have the pieces, you got to find new pieces. That's the beauty of recruiting. So you just have to. I said this in press conference. I can't worry 1 second about guys that aren't here because I can't coach them, I can't develop them, I can't teach them. So if I can't do any of those things, then I really can't worry about it. So next day, next play, next guy, next game. So here we go.
Such a true answer, forthright. I really appreciate that. So let's go with the system. In a perfect world, what is your defense? If you could just briefly touch on your 3 levels and how you like to call a game.
I try to. Every opponent is different. That's a pretty obvious statement, but I think that what I try to do is take the basics of what we do and present a bunch of different things. So, and I think that tries to keep an offense off balance a little bit, especially early. And then the other part of that is I think any of the guys that are here, players, coaches, will tell you, I'm never afraid to adjust. And I think that to be able to adjust, you always have to have answers. And so that's what I tell the guys every week, like just make sure we have answers, because I think I see this a lot of times where guys say, hey, the game plan is the game plan, you can't adjust. I think that's bad coaching. So in the off season, when you go and you learn from people and you talk to different people across the business, it's finding answers to every way that people are trying to attack you, and then can your personnel can do the things within those answers, not obviously within your basic scheme, but within the answers that you're trying to find, And can you find enough time to invest in that to where it's viable on game days? I mean, you can't make wholesale changes. I do agree with that, but you can adjust. And when you have those answers, then it's easy to combat that. I mean, to me, it's just a chess match. You know, the game itself, which is the thing I've always loved about what we do. You know, it's the moving pieces and the back and forth and adjustments and and so I think if you don't have those, I don't think you've done your job, quite honestly.
Let's go back real quick then to the middle of the season when you had the bye week, and you talked about simplifying your defense a little bit just so that they're more used to it, could react instead of think. How much of an impact do you think that had in the second half of the season? Because it appeared like it really did a lot.
Yeah, I think that you if you look at what really wins a football game, it's playing hard, playing physical, executing simple things, and really for last year where that really showed up for us was creating turnovers. If I go back to that TCU game, that's where it swung. We have 2 picks and we have 2 fumbles. Could have had another fumble. All right, so I think we had 4 turnovers in that game. 3, I think it was 4. It could have had 5, and that was the difference in the ball game. But that was the first time coming off a bye week where, I mean, kids are kids. They're going to make important what you make important. So I go back and I was like, hey, that first fumble, the guy catches the ball. Sean Mahone comes in and rips the ball out. If I go back to those previous 6 games, just that action of ripping that ball out, like we had just in that off week that we worked harder on that than we did anything. It's like, guys, we got to create turnovers. We've talked about that this whole offseason going into 22, that's one of the things that has been extremely, a high level of importance on that we got to get better at. It's creating turnover. So, again, they do what you emphasize. And from that point on, that's exactly what we did. We simplified things. We emphasized things that win football games. And, that's always on us as coaches as much as it is the players.
Through a couple of weeks of spring practice already, I mean, I'm sure you're excited about your veterans, Dante Stills, Taj Austin, but talk about just, what they've been bringing to the table, but also the newcomers you have this spring as well.
The one that sticks out is Lee Koba. I've talked about his mentality as a football player at inside backer. I think that's something that we've kind of needed since Tony Fields was a little bit of that guy. But Tony was a sideline to sideline guy. Lee's more of a downhill guy. Which again I look at the change in the Big 12 over the last 5 to 7 years is probably need a little more of that. I look at Charles Woods as a newcomer from last year, but is really going to, I think, have a year to set himself apart as a big time corner at this level. Marcus Floyd has done a phenomenal job coming in, playing a position that he hasn't played, but we need him to learn. And he'll play both. He'll play both corner and safety. Zaki Lawton was a guy that Saturday really showed that he can really help us. Zaki's still, at the end of the day, he's still a freshman, and he still has some growing and some things he's got to get stronger that he's got to do, and every freshman does. But those are guys that through a couple of practices have, obviously the ones that have been here stick out. A guy like Dante, you got to be smart with his reps because you know what he can do. He's done it for 4 years. So, you're trying to limit those guys a little bit to see what's behind them. And again, I think I love the pieces that are in this group. A guy when you say newcomer, sometimes you think of new guys that are on the field and roles that matter. Davis Mallinger is doing a great job moving from safety down to spear. Has elite speed. Just got sometimes down there closer to the box, you got to control that so you didn't get in bad positions. Andrew Wilson-Lamp in his second year was a really long kid, is starting to grow into his body. And so, those are guys, and then the young man we got coming in from North Dakota State, Jazeer Cox. I mean, I'm extremely excited about him. Again, where they come from doesn't matter to me. I just know that he comes from a wonderful family. He comes from a program that the success of that program speaks for itself. and he has the mentality that we're really trying to bring in here out of that process, out of the process of the portal. So probably a little pickier about who we bring in than most people, but he's an example of the type person and player that we want to. So we're excited about him, and then we'll have some more coming in from our signee group up to what the holes we're filling in the portal from here on out. So,
okay, a little bit more philosophy for me. Talking to Coach Brown, he's talked a lot about going man coverage more this year. What is the reality of that when it relates to the rest of the defense? Having to put pressure on quarterbacks, so it's a shorter play than in zone coverage. What entails all that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you can play man, I always go back to the National Football League. Why is the National Football League the elite of the elite? And why can those guys do a lot of the things they do? I mean, the NFL is a straight-up matchup league, right? So it's just about finding the matchups. And, there's a lot of man coverage played because those guys, they're elite at what they do. That's not all the time the situation in college. But when you do have guys that can play man, it really you can shrink your playbook and apply more pressure. Okay, because that ball is usually got to come out faster. If you got a guy that can tighten things down, and you're trying to force windows. Like if a guy can, the thing I've always thought in my mind is number one, I'll make a quarterback beat me with his brain and then with his arm. But if I can make him beat me with his arm, then probably ain't got to worry as much about the brain side of things. It's like, hey, if he can't make this throw, well, all right, well, let's make him make that throw. And then the skill set of the corner determines that. The worst thing you can ever do is ask a guy to play man that can't play man. But if he can play man, you can teach him how to play zone. So I think it really just always comes down to the player and his skill set. And quite honestly, especially at corner, I mean, because those guys are, they're different a little bit. I don't. They're kind of like receivers. I don't deal with. I love our corners, but I just don't. They're the mentality is a little bit. They're kind of their own deal sometimes, which is fine. I'm totally fine with that. But the more of a tough physical pride, actually a little bit of ego, honestly, that they have, probably the better it is because, that's they're on that island. When you're on that island, you're in that spotlight. When you're on that spotlight, you either perform or you don't. And most good corners I've ever known, they like performing. They like the crowd, the noise, and everything that comes along with making big plays, just like a receiver does. So I think it's with all of that before I said, I do think the large part of it is the mentality to get out there on an island and say, I got you. Here's the matchup all day, and they step up. They welcome that challenge, and so and I think that's one I love about Charles. I think he sees that coming from Illinois State, comes from a good program in Dallas, and that's one thing I've always liked about him. And it goes back to the recruiting conversations I had with him on the phone, and you could just tell he's kind of got that moxie about him that I believe makes a good cover guy.
You're watching Climbing the Mountain, brought to you by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage. Don't forget, you can find Country Roads Trust on many social media platforms. Coach, I would like to know, with this spring ball going against Graham Harrell's offense, obviously a different look, what does that do for your defense this year?
Well, I mean, anytime that you can see something different, whether it's the concept of the play, the personnel, the formations that come along with that. When you get that on video, you have unlimited access to study that, okay? And then you have a reference point so that in the season, when you see that exact set of plays, formations, personnels, whatever it may be, you have an unlimited resource and reference point to go back to and study. I think that's good coaching. I mean, I think our offense is set up, now to have a lot of success from what I've seen through 6 practices. Graham's going to do a heck of a job. He's a great person, great coach, great teacher, and has a kind of a demeanor about him to me, that I think it has kind of, I think it kind of calms our kids down, you know. And I think that any time that, and I always go back to this, like if I'm not convicted about what I do, how can I expect any player to be? Correct. And I think when I see our offense, I think that's Graham's demeanor. I think this is what we do. So we're going to be good at. Let's roll. And we, you know, not that it's going to be perfect, because I just don't believe mistake-free football exists. It's not the nature of the game. So, you know, when I see our offense now, I kind of see that. I see that demeanor, that kind of quiet confidence is, hey, here's what we are. It's what we do. Let's go do it. And you start to see some. You know, we just watched the scrimmage from Saturday, and you see a lot of that, and which is good. I mean, I think that carries over to the kids, and it's just so much of a mental game as much as it is physical, and that has a lot to do with the mentality of Graham, obviously Coach Brown, Graham, myself, how much that carries over to the kids.
Real quick, pass fail. My cornerback coach left the day before spring ball started. I had to coach him up, the cornerbacks, okay? I taught him how to block offensive line-wise for being man protection. Is that pass or fail in your book?
It depends on how many flags you got. If you didn't get if they didn't call it, that's a huge pass.
Well, in junior college, we don't have referees for practices.
Oh, believe me, I know. Don't have many for games either. So.
All right.
That's awesome. Well, Jordan Lesley, we appreciate you joining us here, defensive coordinator for WVU football. We're rooting for you, and good luck this season.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. All right, coming up after the break, we are going to be joined in the studio by Charles Woods and Marcis Floyd. Stay tuned. You're watching Climbing the Mountain, brought to you by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance. This Climbing the Mountain video podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. Welcome back to Climbing the Mountain, a video podcast brought to you by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance. All right, Wolf, we are talking cornerbacks today. We have Charles Woods and Marcis Floyd. You guys, thank you so much for joining us, first of all. Marcis, let's start with you. You are brand new here, a transfer from Murray State. Talk about your journey here and why you chose WVU as the next step.
It's been a long time coming here. I had a great opportunity at Murray State, showcase my talents at the FCS level, and I just felt that it was time to come to West Virginia. And they had a great coaching staff. I love what the coaches had to say, and I just felt like it was a great fit for me.
And Charles, you understand his position because 2 years ago you transferred in from Illinois State. So, you know, talk about just maybe how you can help guide somebody like Marcis who, you know, you've been in his shoes where he's like brand new from another university.
It's just really just taking him under my wing and trying to guide him through the program while he get accustomed to it. And it's been a great process. I'm glad you're here.
Let me ask you, both of you, because you are transfers recent, and Charles, you had this year where you really got used to Big 12 football. But for both of you, this question, Charles, you go first. What is good at WVU? I ask everybody. I'm going to ask you.
What is good, like the difference, or
no? What's good? What do you like about being here at WVU?
I'll probably say the best thing is the fan base. Like, I've never seen the fan base like it. The fan base is crazy, but they support us no matter what, no matter the record. And they come out each and every game, and it really pays off during the game. So.
What about you, Marcis?
I will also say the fan base, because I haven't been here for too long, but the fans, they've been embracing me. They've been showing me all type of love. And the family atmosphere inside the locker room. Everybody, like, loves each other. Everybody talks to each other. It's different.
Again, going back, Amanda, to that positivity from last week,
That's right.
I think you're seeing a lot of this as well. So with that being said, then your two corners, your FCS, you're coming to Power 5, so you're transferring. What is your drive to go P5?
To just show everybody I can compete at this level. Coming out of high school, I guess you could say I didn't fit the eye test. So just proving everybody wrong, and I compete out there with the best.
Good. What about you, Mark?
I would say the same thing. Coming out of high school, didn't have any offers for real, didn't complete the eye test. Everybody overlooked me. Then going to Murray State and actually prove myself on the FCS level. Now I want to step up to the Big 12 level and prove myself.
Charles, you are the most experienced defensive back now on this staff. Some departures. Talk about what you guys expect out of that position group this spring and this upcoming fall?
I just really we got a whole bunch of hardworking guys. It's a lot of positivity in the room right now. It's just a lot of guys that want to get better and go out there and compete. So I think that's what's coming this upcoming fall.
Marcis, how do you feel like spring ball has gone so far for you? You know, coming into a new school, a new system. Like, how has your adjustment personally been?
I feel like it's going pretty good. Everything's happening kind of fast though, but I'm keeping up with everything so far.
You know, Charles, when you made that transfer last year and you had to go against the wide receivers of the Big 12, talk to me about the wide receivers of the Big 12, how good they are, how fast they are, because I know they are.
Most definitely. It's a difference from LCS and Big 12 just really because these guys up here is just as talented as you, and they're big already. Some guys 6'4", 6'5", so it's just a lot of talent in the Big 12 versus LCS where you probably get one of those players on each team or every couple weeks. Every week in the Big 12 is a dogfight. So
no doubt. Now, Marcus, you get a chance to. Now 6 practices in, going against Bryce Ford Wheaton. BFW, as I call him, he's big. I mean, he almost looks like Adonis there, a guy out there. And then you got Sam James, who can just tear down the field. Pray there's some really upcoming wide receivers. What's been your response? Only 6 practices so far, but how do you feel like you're handling it, and how good are they?
I feel like I'm handling it pretty good. Like everybody always says, even Charles told me, like at this level, it's football at the end of the day, so you just got to take it as it is. But they've been giving me some great competition at practices and making sure that I'm ready.
Coach Brown said in the most recent practice that you were really physical. He liked how you were playing. You had an interception. How does that just kind of help boost your confidence when you're the new guy here?
It always boosts my confidence, especially coming from the coaches, just letting me know that I'm doing the right things, I'm pushing the right buttons, getting in the right position to make plays. So it's helped my confidence out.
Charles, what do you think about the locker room right now? Like, we're not going to mention who's left, but there have been some departures as of recently. You know, what is the feeling in the locker room moving forward?
I just think it's a lot of positive energy in the locker room. Everybody just showing up, ready to work, and that's really it. There ain't really nobody complaining. So everybody just showing up, do what they asked to do, and we're trying to get better at the end of the day.
What's that like, though, when you have a player that's here and then basically the next day he's not? I mean, that has to be kind of weird, right?
To me, not really, because at the end of the day, that's still my brother. We competed through mud together. So at the end of the day, I support him no matter who left, where they go. I support them, and that's really it. Just move on, keep doing what I gotta do.
Life goes on, right?
Yeah, life
continues on.
Yeah, speaking of that, as an offensive lineman coming from an old offensive lineman here, when you were left tackle or right tackle, you were put on an island. So, with that being said, what has Coach Brown been talking about this offseason and winter conditioning and spring ball now is that you have to play more man as WVU is. What does that do for you, your game? How do you fit into that? And are you excited? Because you're on an island out there. You go man coverage, it's you and the receiver, man, and 60,000 people plus 1 million watching on TV can see it all.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting when you're on the island. I think it's the hardest position on the field. So, I like that chance to go up against a receiver, especially one of the top receivers in the country. So.
Marcus, what is your style of play? For the fans who haven't seen you play here, how would you describe your style, and what would they expect to see out of you this year?
I would describe it as like how Coach said, like a hard-hitting defensive back, and I love playing man coverage.
You love playing man coverage.
I do.
All right.
I do.
Well, that's what we need because, you have a really special opportunity right now, especially with the numbers and where you're coming in from. You want this opportunity to prove yourself. I know coming from FCS level and here at Power 5. So this is a perfect opportunity, perfect storm for you guys to showcase your talents.
Yeah, for sure.
Charles, what would you like to see the biggest jump in your personal ability from year 1 at WVU to year 2?
Just really not just being a veteran, just being consistent on a weekly basis. Not having one good game, then one bad game, one average game. Just going out there, competing every game, having a good game every week, and helping my team to a chance to win.
Marcus, how excited are you just to get out there and play? And we have, you're not really know too much about the rivalries. I'm sure that you're getting educated on it. You know, Pitt, huge rivalry. That's the first game. How excited are you to be a part of such a great tradition? And that's going to be your first game. I mean, let's just go from 0 to 60 like that.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I grew up in Kentucky, so I know kind of about the rivalry, but it's different coming in the locker room and everybody's talking about the rivalry and how intense it is. So I'm just ready to be a part of that rivalry. I'm ready to play.
You know, Pitt is a 4-letter word, okay, and it's a bad word. And I want you guys to know, coming from an old dog like me, that it definitely is a big rivalry, and you'll really enjoy it. I know you will up there playing in the PNC or professional park up there. So with that being said, you're going to be in an NFL stadium. I don't know if you've ever been in an NFL, played in an NFL stadium before, but it's always got to put a little bit of fire in you, a little bit of pepper in you. You going to be ready to roll?
Of course.
Of
sir.
course.
Definitely.
Of course.
Long question for a short answer, but I like that because the blood gets going with that Pitt thing. So with me, then, where do you think that you guys are now? And I'll let you each individually answer this, but where are you in your stage of a defensive back, a corner? What do you need to work on to get better?
I think me at the stage of my career, like just being a veteran, being one of the older guys in the room, it's really for me, you know, I know much of the scheme, just me kind of helping these young guys out and helping them find their way, helping them learn the scheme, then just me working on my craft, working on it every day where I can't get it wrong. So that's where I'm at.
And for me, it's just working on the little things, working on my footwork, how I get out of my breaks, my eye placement, hand placement, just all the little things, making sure that because it all equals big things at the end of the day.
Don't forget, you are watching Climbing the Mountain, brought to you by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage. All right, guys, the Big 12. Charles, you've been in it, obviously, already 1 year. You know, just the excitement of playing in the Big 12 this year. It's always a strong conference, strong players. That must make it even more motivation when you're out there practicing in the spring, thinking, all right, you know what? We're trying for that Big 12 championship. We want to do it this year. We want to be the first group to do it.
Yeah, most definitely. We went on it today. You know, Coach Brown's going over film, and he always tell us just almost every day, like, you know, we're gonna be going against, you know, one of the best conferences, which is Big 12, and the players that's in it now, like, with some great players in the Big 12. So like every day, we had to come in ready and ready to work and get better, because when the season come around, you know, you're gonna be in front of 80,000, and it's you and the other guy.
When we, I mean, obviously, it's well documented how well the defense has played the past couple of years. When we've had the offensive players in here on this video podcast, they really wanted to make sure that they were holding up like their end of the bargain this year. They said, you know, we don't want the defense to bail us out like they've had to in the past couple of years. Do you see more of maybe a cohesiveness with the offense and the defense this year through, you know, 6-7 spring practices?
Most definitely, but at the same time, it kind of fall back on us too. It's just not on them. You know, when they out there, we had to, you know, bring the energy on the sideline and help them out. And even when we're in practice and we going against them, we got to give them a good look, and they have to give us a good look, so we making each other better while we out there.
Charles, when you had that interception against TCU, I want to know, legit, how high were you in the air? Because your knee was above his head, I think, or at least eye level. I mean, how high do you think you got there?
Yeah, in the game, it didn't feel that high, but when I watched it on film, I noticed how high it was. So, yeah, I'm surprised I was able to land and start running.
Yeah, you were soaring, man. And, you know, Marcis, what's the best thing now that you've learned since coming here? Talking about Shadon Brown, new coach for you, only 1 year for you, I believe, Charles. So what's he like? What's he doing good for you? And how is he different from other places you've been?
He's a great guy, and being different from other places I've been, I mean, all the coaches, they teach me, like, different fundamentals and different things that I have to learn, but he just keeps on harping on the little things, make sure I'm doing all the little things right, because at the end of the day, he wants me to be great.
That's awesome. Now, Charles, when I was doing your bio, one of the places that you said that you would like to visit, and I love this, was the Hershey factory. And I emailed you back, and I was like, well, my kids have actually played a hockey tournament up there. What is it about the Hershey factory? Like, I just think that's such a cool place. A lot of people like list places around the world, and you said the Hershey factory. I just thought that was so endearing.
Yeah, I love Hershey's. That's always been my favorite candy.
So it's strictly for like what you love.
Yeah, you can ask my mother every time she go to the store. I ask her to give me a Hershey bar.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And of course, you can read their bios on our website, countryroadstrust.com. And when I do talk to these guys, I get their questions. It's not just, what's your position, blah, blah, blah. It's not football stuff. I ask them, what is on your bucket list? Where would you like to visit? So kind of like cool things. And you can find that on our webpage. And it's just really exciting to have the defense up here talking about, what the expectations are. What are your expectations as a unit this year?
Just really hold up our 3 standards, which we harp on every day, which is physicality, effort, and what's the other one?
Effort, physicality, and
It's always the last one.
We won't let Coach see this.
It's always the last one.
You know what? It doesn't matter. What I want to know on the bucket list, what kind of steaks do you like?
Ooh,
Filet mignon.
Filet mignon, all right?
Filet mignon.
I'll take a filet mignon too. I'll have to say filet mignon.
You
Okay, guys.
probably eat about like 8 of them, don't you? Like, they're
Yeah,
so
yeah,
small. They're a
small.
good cut of
They're
meat.
good.
That's
They taste
awesome.
good, though.
That's right.
Gotta love the steaks.
All right. Well, Charles Woods and Marcus Floyd, we appreciate you guys joining us on Climbing the Mountain. And like I said, if you want to get more information about these guys, learn more about them on the personal side, you can go to countryroadstrust.com. All right. We're talking more defense next. And we are talking with Lance Dixon and Exree Lowe. That is coming up next. Stay with us, everyone. This Climbing the Mountain video podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. Welcome back to Climbing the Mountain, brought to you by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance. And Wolf, we have 2 lively gentlemen with us now. We have
do.
Lance Dixon and Exree Lowe. Thank you guys so much for joining us. First of all, Exree, how is the ankle going?
Ankle's getting well. I'm just looking to progress day by day and take it slowly. And when the season gets here, then I'll be ready to go.
How much of a hindrance is that going to be not being able to participate in spring practice? I mean, how do you feel like you're going to be that much further behind, or are you just kind of taking this all in mentally and ready to get out there physically when you can?
I'm taking it all in mentally. I watch film every day and make sure I stay on top of my plays and to make sure I know the playbook. So the only thing that sucks is just seeing the guys out there practicing and I'm not. So that's the only bad part about it.
For sure.
Should I just call you old man? Because you can take it, right? You already know the plays, that's for sure, right?
Yeah, you can. You can call me old.
All right. Lance, okay, man. I've been asking everybody this. For you, you just transferred in last year, I believe. Got a full year in your belt in the Big 12. But what is good about WVU?
I mean, it's definitely the atmosphere and the defense we run. I say that all the time. I feel like it fits me and the way I like to play football. That's the main things that I look at in WV.
What kind of jump would you like to make from year 1 at WVU last year to year 2 this year?
I want to be able to make the jump to make people look at me, the scouts, NFL scouts, make that jump into being a league linebacker.
Right. Well, talk about linebacker. You guys both play the will, not the wheel linebacker. Yeah, sometimes it is a wheel, though, out there. But what is the difference between a Mike and a Will, and even the Bandit? If you could just break it down, both of you, what do you see the differences are and the different parts that they play?
The Mike, he just gonna play the box most of the time, so he's definitely in the trenches for real. Like, he really in there. And the Will, we're kind of outside the box, but sometimes we're in the box. We're more apex. We got 2 apex defenders, so that makes our defense special for real. And our Bandit, he's just a primary pass rusher, like one of us, like a smaller D lineman guy, but he could pass rush. So that's what they do. That's what they specialize in.
Yeah, you guys are out there now. I know you're rehabbing at X-ray, though, but you watch the film and Lance, what the offensive line is going to be one of the strengths for the offense, and the defensive line is the older guy supposedly one of the strengths for the defense. Who's winning right now in spring ball?
I'm going to have to say the D-line.
This is your chance to talk some smack.
Yeah, no, definitely it's going to say the D-line. We fighting every day, sometimes literally. And, it's it's good work, though. Everybody getting better. D-line getting better, O-line. I mean, it's a good atmosphere right now. I like it.
Lance, you missed the last 3 games, regular season games last year with an injury. Then you came back with a vengeance in that bowl game. Just talk about having to sit out and then just what made you so productive in that bowl game after losing those 3 games.
You talking about it before the show at Muscle Beach. I wanted to stay far away from it. So I stayed far away from it to this day from them 3 weeks. But really, seriously, it's just staying in the playbook and being able to, when my number's called, just being able to go out there and produce. Even
though you lost that, those last 3 games and you were able to play in that final game, I would imagine you're pretty hungry to get back out there and have a full season. So what does the spring practice mean to you this year?
Really, it's for me, it's about how if I can keep my body healthy and keep my mindset, keep it going, recovery every day, stuff like that. Just keep up the work and being able to practice my off the field habits that I'm gonna have to do on the field during the season now, so I can, do all the things I want to do.
Actually, for our audience out there that doesn't know this, what is Muscle Beach? Break it down, man, because people don't know how horrible it is.
It's basically the whole time the team practicing, you lifting, conditioning on the bike, doing whatever Coach Mike say, whatever he say, basically go. So you don't got no choice to do what he says.
I mean, it's a lot harder to be in Muscle Beach than it is to go out there and practice. I think that's the whole point of it.
Yeah, that's the point of it. It's to get guys to stay away from there. So if they're hurt, just always getting constant recovery and doing things you need to get back, so they don't have to go there.
Lance, when you think back, when you first came to Penn State, and you made that choice to come here to West Virginia, what was the reasons? Not to get into like bad reasons or good reasons, but what are the differences that you've had, challenges you've had, good things that you're seeing?
Compared to?
Yeah, let's say the move. How has it worked out, really?
It's worked out well. I think the benefits outweigh the negatives. So, I think I made a good choice. At the end of the day, it's where God want me to be right now. So that's where I'm gonna just keep pushing.
You made you played a lot your first year at Penn State. What are the main differences between the Big Ten and the Big 12?
The running, 12 personnel, 13 personnel to 23 gets to the goal. They running the ball, fullbacks. It's definitely way different. Because out here, they might go empty in the red zone, and Big Ten, Iowa will line up in T formation and run the ball down your throat. It's definitely different. But I like how it's working out.
Exree, obviously you're just an observer this spring practice, but your observation with the new offense brought in by Graham Harrell and seeing the defense going against that kind of offense in spring practice, what's the biggest difference that you see, and how is that going to help the defense now to help them during the games in the fall?
I think we're seeing a lot more like 5 out. So you got your 2 receivers and the running backs free releasing, and a lot of the time we don't see that. Or last year, the offensively, we didn't see that so much. So just being able to adjust, because that's what most teams do in our conference too. So it's just good to see it in practice, because we see it week in and week out most of the time during the season.
Lance, same for you. You're actually going up against that offense. So when you're out there, what's that like this season, this spring, fall?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a better experience, because obviously going to practice things that you do in the game, and if the offense, we can't tell them to do stuff that they aren't they wouldn't do in the game. So it's definitely better to have more variety, seeing more stuff. It's definitely better mentally and physically, like being able to put yourself in a position and see it with your own eyes before you get to a game, and it's totally different.
Yeah.
So you've heard Coach Brown and Coach Lesley, who was on the show earlier from you guys, talking about going to man coverage. What do you guys? You got to run with those backs now, man.
Yeah.
That's no joke. What do you like? Do you like man? Do you like zone? Or you don't care? You just do it?
Me personally, I just want to play football, so I don't care if it's man or zone. I'm just gonna go out there and try to make a play, do my assignment.
What about you, Lance?
Throughout high school, I only played man, like on receivers and running backs and all that. So that's all I really did until I got to college. I never really played zone until I got to college, or linebacker until I got to college. So, it's definitely different learning zones. I I got the hang of it pretty much now, learning different types of zones and stuff like that. But I mean, really, like my eyes sometimes it's like naturally I'll go more towards a man technique versus a zone technique because this is how.
Do you guys take it personally as a challenge?
Yeah, no,
when
definitely.
you man up and you got that running back and he's a fast cat now.
Yeah, you got to.
I mean, I'm faster.
There you go. I like the attitude.
That's exactly what I was looking for.
Exactly. You know, what is the morale right now on the defensive side of the ball? Obviously, some departures, but, you know, with the guys that are here, you know, what's the morale in this spring practice right now?
I would say just finding a way to get better every day and just improving from the last practice you had because you're only as good as your last day. So I think if we find a way to get better every single day, just find something you didn't do good in the practice before and just build on that, I think we'll be fine. Lance,
what do you think about the morale right now?
Yeah, no, definitely bouncing off what he said. It's definitely the energy. It's been better than what I've seen for my time here. I've only been here for a short time, but it's definitely heading in the right direction.
Lance, as somebody who was a transfer, you know, you have guys like Marcus Floyd coming in. He's transferring. He's brand new. You know, what can you take from your experience as a transfer to help these new guys coming in?
I mean, it's just really everything. I mean, you go come to a new program and you're gonna expect new things, but really, it's just adjusting to Coach Mike. Really, that's about. That's really what it is. That's
a common answer.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, that's. I mean, Mike Joe, he different. I mean, that's how he work. I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, everybody said whenever people come in, it's like you gotta get to Mike Joe. You gotta learn how he working and do everything right. So I mean, it's just adjusting to that, the scheduling, and I mean, guys that's transferring in, they know scheduling and gonna be on time for stuff pretty much. So
absolutely. Well, let's go to this. Exree, you're the oldest guy. I called you the old man, so you are. And you know, you have on the other side of the ball, you have some youth, particularly at quarterback right now.
Yeah.
And the last, this question is for you as well, as you're getting older in your times and your experiences. So what do you have to do on your part for the whole team to pull the rope, kind of like whatever? There's some youth, there might be some inexperience there. What do you have to do in your mind to lead this team to the next level?
I would say just leading by example and just being a leader to the younger guys and make sure they're on fully because you don't want any stragglers. So you want to bring them along positively and make sure that they're doing what they need to do. And when you lead by example, you're just showing them how to do these things so they can follow your lead, basically.
Lance?
For me, I mean, I say being more vocal to the younger guys. I mean, I don't really talk much in general. I mean, being more vocal in general, not to just the younger guys. I would say that to, because leading by example, I mean, you already an older guy. You definitely got to do that. We all got to do that. That's our part. But
absolutely. Now, most people don't understand what you mean when you say that because there's so many things you have to take care of. You wear a ring for your body, knowing what your body is doing, all the nutrients you have to take, and just explain that a little bit about what it actually takes to go to day in a program, P5.
Yeah, it's Mike Joe. That's, I mean,
that guy again.
It's Mike Joe. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things. It's like, what's some stuff? RTT.
For example, like you got to be here maybe an hour early before lift even starts because you got a hydration test. Then you got to do the MIP on the board before lift or team meeting even starts and weigh in, get pre-fuel. Then like you said, we got the rings that track our sleep. We got to sign into those before the team meeting. It's a lot, and just doing those things right, I would say, like those are things that Coach Mike want us to do right. But I would also say by leading by example is just doing the extra outside of football too, like getting people to come upstairs and get some extra drill works or catch some extra balls. Just things like that is definitely gonna help the program in a positive way.
All right, you're watching Climbing the Mountain, a video podcast presented by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage. All right, let's get personal now. I ask you guys bio questions, and I try to ask kind of off-the-wall stuff. Exree, you said that you were a very good wrestler, third in the state in Pennsylvania in high school.
Ma'am.
Congratulations. And you said that one of your bucket list items, and I'm going to go off Lance's here, you would like to snowboard in Colorado, and you would like to skydive.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you, Lance? I mean, talk about just like, these things that you would like to do one day, and why those? Why snowboarding and why skydiving?
I just never been.
I'm glad I'm not your mom, Lance. Oh my gosh.
I just never been snowboarding before, and then I just know like the scenery in Colorado is probably different, so I just want to experience that with my own eyes instead of through a phone or something.
Yeah, no, it is. It's gorgeous. We go out west a lot, and I ski myself. You probably won't be allowed to snowboard until you're done here.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you, skydiving?
I mean, for me, skydiving, because heights is one of my, that's pretty much the only fear that I have.
So you want to go skydiving?
So I want to go skydiving so I can attack that.
Okay.
Because I don't like being scared of nothing. So
maybe you just climb to the top of the stadium first and just do the stairs.
You do.
No?
I get scared when we do that.
Do you really?
Yes.
Why? And so why with skydiving? Because you just don't have a choice? Maybe?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's
You
exactly.
do know you're
I
jumping
love
out of a
that.
very good airplane. It's like it's still moving and flying and can land. You do understand that, right?
I do. I need to jump out
okay.
of though, for me.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, good luck
like
in those
that.
future endeavors long down the road. I
Yes,
hope you guys
ma'am.
do accomplish that and mark it off your bucket list. So, Lance and Exree, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we wish you all the luck this year.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. All right, next
Great job.
on Climbing the Mountain, we're going to be joined by Jared Bartlett and Christion Stokes. That's going to be our final segment. Stay tuned. You're watching Climbing the Mountain, presented by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance. We'll be right back. This Climbing the Mountain video podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. All right, welcome back. It's the final segment of Climbing the Mountain, a video podcast presented by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance. And I would say, Wolf, we're saving the best for last, right? These guys have been bouncing off the wall here before we even started. We have Jared Bartlett and we have Christion Stokes. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining
Clicking.
us.
Thank you for
Clicking.
having us.
Talking
Pleasure to be
football,
here.
talking Bo Jackson, like all kinds of good stuff here. But let's talk about you guys in WVU football. First of all, Christion, you are a true freshman coming in. Tell me about your experience so far.
So far it's been like a real humbling experience because when you come out of high school you always feel like you're a man and like everything's gonna be given to you, but it's like as soon as you get here you gotta realize that you gotta earn everything, that you gotta earn your stripes, make your mark here on the team, and it's been a real good experience because I've been working hard, training hard, trying to get my spot and just trying to get my playing time on the field.
Jared, what about you? How's spring practice going for you personally?
Spring practice is going great. I think going into spring practice initially, it was all about getting better. And I try to do that every day, whether that's in pass rush, in the run game, and just understanding schemes, things like that. I think overall my football knowledge has really increased especially since last season, and that's going to be really good going forward into this new season.
Christion, you saying humbling makes me laugh because I see a very a confident young man in you, but I know what you're talking about. And when you're saying that you've gone from high school to the speed that you saw in the field on average to now the speed of the Big 12, explain what that difference has been like.
I can't really say for sure because I'm still getting back healthy, but I can definitely tell that the speed of the game has definitely changed from high school to college, simply because of the fact that when you're in high school, kind of the speed kind of goes in your way. So you already know how it is, you already know how everything goes. But in college, the speed of the game changes completely because it's people that's always going to be just as good, if not better than you, and you're going to be competing against them every time.
Yeah, Jared, now you've talked about your maturity. You've been growing up in the last few years and really getting that experience. How is that really affected? Because Coach Brown talked about you had one of the best winter conditionings, and now you're out there in practice. How is that rolling for you now? Because I know you feel pretty good about it.
Well, especially at the bandit position, being the strongest or the fastest, being able to do things all around it. Because I play in the box, I play on the line, I drop. Being able to have that that structure from the off season, getting stronger and all that, it really helps because I feel, especially in the Big 12,
you have to be a very versatile linebacker, especially to be productive, and that's important.
You know, you're older, you're brand new, younger, veteran. You know, what can you learn from a player like Jared, and what can you teach a player like Christion?
Well, it's a few things I can learn from, you know, some of the older guys. But most of the time, the things I learned is just be confident in your game, keep training, keep grinding it out, and like once you do all of that, you're gonna get your chance, get your time to shine on the field. And they always tell me to just keep my mind in the right headspace, because college is it's more mental than people think it is. So once you get in that mindset, you're gonna be all right.
What have you learned from me though? Because you know I took you under my wing.
There you go.
It's hard for you to take me under your wing when we play two different positions.
I'm just saying.
You kind of swole. I'm trying to get big like you. You know what I'm saying?
I tell him to do his push-ups every night. That's gonna get him right.
Hey,
That's good. That's good.
10 push-ups a day keeps the doctors away, or whatever they be saying.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do too. Then that's
Is
good
that
advice.
a Mike Joseph saying?
No.
Mike Joseph be like,
He'd be like 50. Forget 10. He'd be like 50.
I do 50 myself. So
Mike Joe tell you to get your manual neck in every day.
he'll be like do push-ups and pause your reps type stuff. Like,
No, with every rep you always gotta pause with Mike Joe or it doesn't count.
yeah.
Jared, let's talk about the bandit position a little
What's
bit.
some things you can teach me?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Besides doing my push-ups every night.
Like you said, staying focused. There's a lot of distractions in college, so I just want to make sure my little
Truth.
bros focus on the
Very
right
true.
things.
you just showed me you guys your experience about you now. I can tell your maturity's gone way up there, and that's great. But again, let's go back to the bandit position. It's kind of a unique backer, rusher for the common folks out there. Explain what your position really is and how it's set up.
For the most part, the bandit position is a stand-up. It's really a hybrid. It's a stand-up DN, an in-the-box linebacker. In a 4-3 look would be more like a Mike-ish type deal. Primary blitzer, and then occasionally I'll drop to the flats or drop to the hook curl, stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, people say that you got to be a natural blitzer to be in the bandit position. Is that you?
I think a better phrase to say you got to be a natural dog.
Hey, yo, that boy's spitting on the mic.
I swear, these two need to have their own podcast.
They're good.
I love the way they interact. Christion, for people that don't know, obviously you're brand new. What is your style? When people see you out there on the field, what do you bring to that field, and what do you want to bring this fall?
Mainly, I like hitting people. So like playing the safety position is definitely a interesting one, because it kind of fits my playing style, because I like coming down, I like hitting, but I can also drop back into coverage if need be, because I have good hand-eye coordination. So it all ties in together and safety just happened to be the position for me.
How fast are you?
Not faster than me.
I bet I could beat you in a race.
You can. I promise.
I bet I could.
I promise you.
Out in the hallway right now and put this to a test.
My goodness.
Hold on, wait. You gotta
Yeah,
let me get my
now
knee.
you're talking about
You
some-
gotta let me go. Hold on, wait. You gotta let me get my knee brace first.
Here the excuses come.
You gotta let me get my knee brace first, and then do you?
Nah.
How much
Check
fun
it,
is
check
it?
it,
I mean, just listening to you guys, like, how much fun are you guys having in practice right now? Is it fun?
A ton of fun. If you really think about it, the funnest part of football is being able to strap pads on, go out for a couple hours and just have fun with your closest friends and play football. I mean, what else can you ask for?
I would say now it really doesn't feel like a job when it's doing something you love. So it's like you always going out with the guys, having a whole bunch of fun, competing with each other, because, you know, during football, everybody loves to get competitive. So it's always when you win that one rep, you get talking crazy. And it's just like, they going to talk crazy back and then try to win their rep back. So it's always good competitive fun.
You can talk crazy in winter and summer workouts, but it only matters when you're on the field. So.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right.
Were you talking crazy Virginia Tech game when you had the 3 sacks?
Right?
Were you talking some smack there?
I definitely was. Yeah.
I was there, so I definitely seen you talking crazy.
That's just kind of my personality on the field, though. I'll talk a little crap, and, you know, that's just what I do.
A little is an understatement. You probably be talking reckless.
You guys want to keep going? Just keep going. Keep talking and busting at each other.
All you gotta do is keep it clean. All you gotta do is keep it clean. You can say whatever you want to each other. That's all good.
Oh, man.
Jared, talk about having this spring. Obviously, this is your first spring, but not having, last year was a little abbreviated. You know, the advantage of having this full spring heading into the fall.
See, the thing that I like about springtime is you have the freedom to try things and see what works and what doesn't work. In fall camp, you can't really do that because it's so close to the season, and you kind of have to focus on the scheme and stuff like that and how things are going to fit. In spring, you can experiment. This spring specifically, I've been experimenting with different pass rush moves. I've been experimenting how to take on blocks and stuff like that, how I see certain routes, how I react to certain stuff, and I think that's really helping me because when the season comes, I'll be able to apply the knowledge that I can. So
the experiment is paying off right now.
Yeah, right now it's definitely paying off.
And the coaches just kind of let you do that, right?
I mean,
do they encourage that, or
especially with Coach Lesley, because he wants you to be comfortable with what you're doing. So it really helps out for me. So because the defensive coordinator is my position coach, so
Right.
it works out perfectly.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
So you consider last season kind of rushed, seeing that y'all ain't really get no time to prepare like that?
Say it again.
So was last season kind of rushed? Well,
Man,
the COVID season, was
there
that
you
kind
go.
of
There you
rushed?
go. Change my words. I didn't even say all that.
I was just asking a question, bro. I'm just trying to get an answer just like that.
No, we was prepared. We was prepared for sure.
He's
trying to get
a
it.
freshman. He better watch
Oh,
out.
yeah.
That's what I said.
Those upperclassmen.
That humbling thing. I don't know. I got this confident young man.
There's a difference between arrogance and confidence. I just
Correct.
have confidence.
Okay. Yeah, you put on your head.
All right. We play the same side of the ball. How you gonna put me on my head?
No, hey. Wait till these cameras come on.
If you want to see me in a drill, just say you want to see me in a drill.
Oh, you talking crazy now. Relax.
Oh, should we go like for a one-on-one drill out there?
You want parts?
We can do that.
Okay.
You don't need his knee brace though.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Pretty
need
sure
to go
the coaches
to the,
are not going to let us do that,
I'm gonna have
but
to go
that
to
would
the
be
locker
fun in
room for my knee
theory.
brace.
Christian, let's get back to the field. And what is the biggest difference when you look at the defense and the complications of that defense? And how are you adjusting to it?
In all honesty, it is a little more difficult than what I'm used to because back in high school, you really didn't have to learn like a playbook it really wasn't much of a playbook in high school. And now playing free safety is kind of like playing like quarterback on defense. You kind of got to like know what's going on in the secondary, know what everybody's responsibilities are, including your own, and then just making all the right checks and right calls. And Coach Wright has been helping me, Coach Wright and one of my safety buddies, Aubrey Burks, he's kind of been helping me out, like learning the playbook, learning all the adjustments and everything. I'm just starting to get into a rhythm, get into a nice little motion with it.
Christian, I know you had over 19 offers. Why WVU?
It's a lot because it was my official visit down here. It was like nothing I've ever been on in my life. It's like it's a town full of great people. It's good football being played here. Coaches are, well, for one, Coach Wright, he offered me Western Michigan. And when he came down here and got the job here, he gave me a call and was like, I'm the safeties coach for West Virginia, and like I still want to coach you, so I'm offering you West Virginia. And like me realizing it's just like, wow, he went from one school to the next and still kept in contact with me. So it's like he really wants me to be a part of this defense. So it's like that was kind of one of the deciding factors in making my decision.
So you felt a loyalty to him because he felt a loyalty to you, obviously.
Definitely. And it's like we get along like really well. And then since I've been here, I've kind of been growing my relationships with everybody around here. So it's always a nice experience.
Well, here's a question for you. What about the facilities? Well, how much did that play a role? Because we just spent $50 million plus to upgrade the facilities. Did that have any impact on your decision?
It definitely did, just because I seen like all the recovery stuff. Because like I'm big on recovery, especially seeing that come back from injury. And so like seeing all the recovery things, seeing other ways that I can get healthy, and seeing like different methods to getting healthy and like recovering from like long workouts, it was kind of like big on me because as a staff, you want your players healthy, right? So they kind of went out the way to get us all the pre-fueling and all the recovery, like the cryos and the float tubs and everything like that. So it really means a lot that they care about our health like that.
You're watching Climbing the Mountain, a video podcast brought to you by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage. Now, Jared, let's talk about the identity of this defense. Coach Lesley said that he really wants you guys to focus more on takeaways and turnovers. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
Especially in the Big 12, I think takeaways are a very important part of football games because the offense is usually very high-powered. Being able to take away any opportunity they have to score is pretty much detrimental to how the game is probably going to turn out. So I think that's a really good goal to go forth, especially in this season. As far as identity for the defense, I think the same blue-collar mindset's probably going to stay around, being tough, being physical. We've been really working on over-communicating things so everyone can move at the fastest they can move because players make plays best when they know what they're doing so they can move the fastest. That's really it for the most part. It's not too complicated. It's pretty simple, but that's how everything works. The more simple things are, the better things they usually turn out. So
Yeah, and you guys have been blue collar the past couple of years. It's been exciting to watch, no doubt.
Yeah, I tell you what, you've really been progressing, and I want you to know that. Watching up there in the booth as I have been, watching you mature as a player, it's been fun. And Christion, I can't wait to see what you can do, man, because athleticism is what you're about and speed. I love the secondary, the youth, and the speed. So I'm looking really for a bright shining spot this year for the fall for the defense.
for sure.
No,
Wait, you know what I'm looking for right now?
What you looking for?
Your rap game.
Let's go, boys.
Let's go, because Lance and Exree were talking about your skills. So you got to keep it clean. You just got to keep it clean. But I mean, we're in this awesome studio. I don't think any
We are in the
records have
studio.
been cut or
that's
anything.
true. That's true.
Can you
We
drop
are
a
in the
line or
studio.
two?
I am secretly a SoundCloud rapper.
You secretly?
Not anymore.
How many songs you got on
I
SoundCloud?
ain't released on yet. I'm exclusive.
Hold
All right,
on,
you
wait.
got- you
So
got
you gonna
anything?
send me the unreleased?
I need a beat.
Give us a topic too, though.
You're asking us to give you a
Yeah, I
beat?
need a beat.
Yeah,
Y'all the producers.
Y'all the producers.
No, whoa. What?
Give a beat. I have no musical skills.
I mean, I can clap. Does that do anything?
I mean,
All right, you guys
the least
gotta
you could do is give us a topic.
All right, how about spring ball? Let's go, spring ball.
Ooh,
Want to go bar for bar?
I mean, I can try. I might mess up a little bit.
That's all right.
I ain't never rapped on camera before.
Well, I'll tell you what. If
First
it's
time
not
for everything.
good, we'll cut it.
No, we won't. We're gonna keep it. I told those other guys we're not cutting it.
No.
All
I
right.
ain't gonna, if it's bad, you can't really do us like that. That's kind of bold.
All right, so I'm
It's not gonna be bad. Hey, as confident as you are in football, be confident with the rap.
That rapping and football is two completely different
All
things.
right, so I'm gonna start off with like in the booth balling.
I love it. They're like talking, and
No,
this
they-
is gonna be something good.
I
I love it.
rapping,
This is
the
fun.
whole time.
I know,
This is
right?
something that's gonna come right off it.
All right.
Bruh.
I'm like in my first bar with spring ball.
Bruh.
All right, you guys.
All right.
Don't think about it.
it.
Thinking too much.
All right.
All right.
All right, Jared.
So we in the booth with Country Roads, talking about some spring ball.
Talking about some spring ball. Wait until we get down to the fall so we can go crazy and camp. Going crazy and camp. Light lit like a lamp. Ooh.
Not Andrew Wilson, but we still talking about lamp.
Ooh.
It's getting cold. It's raining, but it's not damp.
Ooh.
That's all I got.
Hey, that's a start. I
That's
love
all
it.
got.
I love it. I love it.
Hey,
Very
hold
good.
on, wait. You talking about it's not down. I play free safety, so you know our call. We go clamp. Ooh. Locking them down. Said my boy KP. My boy KP really stretch out and catch that thing. Catch it for a TD. Ooh.
If you go up, you always coming down with the ball. That's not the call. He said clamp, but that's not all. That's all I got. I'm not really a rapper.
Ooh,
for
I'm
real.
not really a rapper for real either, bro.
I'm not really a rapper for real.
As you guys went, more confidence. I love it. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we
Yeah.
appreciate it. You can learn more about Jared and Christion by going to our website, countryroadstrust.com. Gentlemen, thank you so much for the rap, for the insight, and we wish you all good luck
All
this
right,
year.
thank you for
Christion,
having us.
we'll be watching you.
Much appreciated. Thank you for
Yeah,
having us.
absolutely. And thank you for joining Wolf and I. This was a good one, right? Talking defense, first
Lot
episode
of
of
fun.
defense.
Yeah, I like the speed. I like
Yep.
where they're headed for.
Yep.
And I think good things
Yep.
are coming.
Absolutely. We're going to flip the ball and go offense next week, but we appreciate you watching Climbing the Mountain, presented by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance. Don't forget, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. Where's my list? LinkedIn. You can listen on Spotify, Anchor, Amazon Music, just everywhere. And you're going to hear the rap
I
They hear the
everywhere.
rap
kinda
You're going to hear the
everywhere.
rap. That's
I
right.
kinda
You guys
went
better
viral
get
on
ready.
TikTok. I got
So thank you
20
so
I got
much for
21
joining us,
followers.
and we will see you guys next week.
Follow me on IG.
Hey, also, hey, if you following him, you might as well follow me.
Man.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of Climbing the Mountain, presented to you by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance.